Imagine if a whistleblower came forward and said the President of the United States told his Attorney General in a private Oval Office meeting that she's not doing enough to target his political opponents, and that he listed by name the people he wanted her to go after and explicitly tied it to his desire for vengeance. Well, whistleblowers need not apply right now because this president did all of that out in the open. Here are the president's own words on his Truth Social platform over the weekend. Quote, Pam, I have reviewed over 30 statements and posts saying that essentially same old story as last time. All talk, no action. Nothing is being done. What about Comey, Adams, Shifty Schiff, Letitia? They're all guilty as hell, but nothing is going to be done. He went on to say, we can't delay any longer. It's killing our reputation and credibility. They impeached me twice and indicted me 5 times. Over nothing, justice must be served now. Now, that post on Saturday night came after the president fired the U.S. attorney in Virginia, whom he appointed after prosecutors there did not believe they had enough evidence to indict New York Attorney General Letitia James. President Trump plans to install his former personal attorney with no experience as a prosecutor to oversee that office. Despite that step, his own comments, President Trump did tell reporters he's not involved in Justice Department decisions.
No, I just want people to act. They have to act, and we want to act fast. You know, they were ruthless and vicious. I was impeached twice. I was indicted 5 times. It turned out to be a fake deal. And we have to act fast, one way or the other, one way or the other. They're guilty, they're not guilty, we have to act fast. I think Pam Bondi is going to go down as one of the best attorney generals of the ages.
Have you ever threatened DOJ leadership if they don't prosecute with this case?
No, I don't do that. I don't do that. I mean, I look at the facts like everybody else. You read the facts, and to me, she looks terrible. She looks like she's very guilty, but that's going to be up to the DOJ.
I'm joined by a terrific group of reporters here at the table today. Our own Stephen Collinson, Tia Mitchell of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, CNN's Manu Raju, and Evan Perez. Evan, you cover the Justice Department. What are you hearing from your sources who work there, whether they're appointed or civil servants?
Look, it feels like the chaos of Trump season 1 has now sort of bled into season 2. And you know, part of the thing that we've kind of all observed in this administration is that there seemed to be a lot more discipline about how things were being done. Obviously, he has very loyal people inside the department who are doing exactly what he wants them to do. And so the fact that this sort of outburst that came from the president on Saturday, where you know, some people were interpreting it to be perhaps a DM. That was it was an intended DM that actually went out.
Meaning it was supposed to be private, but he accidentally did it public.
We don't know.
Well,
yeah,
I don't think so.
I think there's a difference of opinion on this, but the fact remains, it's very unusual for the president to do this, any president to do this, and the problem with it is not so much that he is leaning on the department. The fact is that what he's done is he's damaged those cases. So even obviously the case against Letitia James, the investigation inside the Justice Department, they don't believe that there's enough evidence to support it. But there are other cases that are now ongoing in that office, and by doing what he has done, it has now damaged those cases that may actually be ones that could go forward. And so the problem for that is that now the defense attorneys for those people, essentially the president has written their briefs for malicious or for malicious prosecution, because that's what is going to be the defense.
Yeah, I mean, look, there used to be some semblance independence with the Justice Department and the White House. Of course, there's always politics at play in the DOJ, but in this administration, there's absolutely no line. Trump is trying to direct his attorney general to do exactly what he wants, which is so brazenly political. He is going after Democrats as political opponents on allegations that may or may not actually support any sort of case. And there are allegations of mortgage fraud involving Republicans. We don't hear about that at all. That doesn't seem to concern Trump, whether it's about Ken Paxton in Texas, the Texas Attorney General, or there have been reports about people in his administration as well. Is so clear what he's trying to do here, but Evan makes a great point. If they do move forward, will any jury actually think that this is legitimate?
And Tia, this post on Saturday night came after, at the end of the week, last week, on Friday night, the president, as he said in that post, firing a U.S. attorney, by the way, who he put in place,
Right.
who is pretty open about being a Republican and a Trump
A
supporter.
Trump supporter, correct.
Fired him because he didn't bring charges against Letitia James. I just want to read what the president said about Eric Siebert. Today, I withdrew the nomination of Eric Siebert as U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia when I was informed that he received the unusually strong support of two absolutely terrible sleazebag Democratic senators from the great state of Virginia. So just to put a finer point on this, the reason that he is saying, the stated reason he is given, isn't because this guy didn't go after Trump's opponents. It's because they had support from two Democrats.
But also, I mean, just for the viewers at home, you need the support of your senators for nominations to go to the floor.
That's the way it works.
So that's the way it works. And Virginia just happens to have two Democratic senators. So, you know, you have to get those senators on board no matter what, or they have the, you know, the blue slips that they can stop the nominations from going forward.
And Trump wants to get rid of that now, so
Right.
he'll have more power to put in his attorneys.
But quite frankly, there's bipartisan support for that Senate kind of practice, if you will. The other thing I wanted to bring up is just what Trump likes to do is put the pressure on others. And then they get put in the weird position of deciding, are they going to choose their loyalty to the president or perhaps their loyalty to their codes of ethics and the standards and practices in the Constitution. And I think it's really interesting in that Truth Social post, putting all the pressure now on Attorney General Pam Bondi, who again, I covered her in Florida. She's a former prosecutor. She's a former state attorney general. She's one of the few, well, not all of Trump's top cabinet officials came qualified. She actually does, whether you agree with her politics or not. But now she is now having to make these tough decisions, not just about the merits of the case, but things that could influence her career way after Trump is out of office.
What are you hearing about that?
Well, I mean, look,
The pressure on her.
The pressure is definitely on her publicly. We don't think that she's in any danger. Obviously, when this first came out, the first question was, oh my God, is she in trouble, right? And people inside the Justice Department really wondered whether the president was threatening to fire her. And you saw him quickly follow that up, and he said this morning that he believes she's doing a great job. So the pressure is absolutely on her and on Todd Blanche, who is her deputy, who of course was the president's former personal lawyer.
Well, and sometimes when he says she's doing a great job, that's even more pressure.
That's even more.
I want to take a step back, Stephen, as you are so brilliant at, and just show, because we say this almost every week, there's so much coming at us. We're drinking from a news fire hose. But just recently, on this particular topic of what the president has done, I just want to look at it in its entirety. Not in its entirety, actually, just some of the actions. He urged the Attorney General to criminally charge political opponents, which we've been talking about. The Pentagon just demanded that the press, reporters, sign a pledge restricting their reporting. The prosecutor, as I mentioned, was fired for not indicting Letitia James and replaced with the president's former personal attorney. Speaking of the media and sort of having more control, TikTok is a hugely powerful and influential media platform in this country, and they're trying to get it away from the Chinese and looking at some of his allies like the Murdochs and the Ellisons to buy it. We all, of course, talked about the FCC chair publicly pressuring ABC to fire Kimmel, the president's attempt to sue the New York Times for defamation, and the president wanting the Supreme Court to allow him to fire a member of the Federal Reserve. This is like in the past week.
Yeah, this is a president who increasingly looks like he's in a hurry to impose maximum power as quickly as possible at a moment when, in the first year of his administration, he traditionally has maximum power. So I think that is very notable. The question, to your point about Bondi and some of these other government officials, even for the Trump loyalists, does there come a point when people have to make a choice between, as you were saying, the oath of the Constitution, their future political careers? We saw in the Charlie Kirk memorial this weekend, certainly a movement towards the future by the MAGA movement. At one point, Trump isn't going to be the defining force of the MAGA movement. So does the politics shift on this? We had a story this weekend that grocery prices keep going up. Is that what the American people care about more than the president consolidating his own personal power? Was that really the reason why his voters sent him back to Washington? Were they angry at the choices they had, but they didn't want this? So I think all this is going to play out, but it's very unusual, it's very irregular, but it's exactly what you'd expect from Trump.